Welcome. In front of me I have a ROG Phone 2 and I will go over unboxing along with an overview of the device. Now just before I start, I will mention that this device is not necessarily brand new, so the unboxing might vary a tiny bit. This is an outlet version, so it already has been opened before. But apart from that, everything that is in the box and primarily how it's located will be the same. So popping it open, which is kind of a weird thing, you pop it from the top, you have this kind of like lift it up instead of how you normally would do, take off the cover before. So you kind of take it out, hopefully nothing falls out. So there we go. Now inside of the box we got, well, nothing here. As you can see, it's a fairly sturdy box. And in here we have the phone. Let me just kind of lay it to the side. So we got a phone, then on the other side we got the fan, which comes, well, I guess the only accessory that comes with the device, considering this phone has a plethora of different accessories that you can buy for it. And then just the booklets with all that stuff in here. So let's pop that on the side, take that out as well and place it right over here, and then somehow take out the phone without actually damaging the box. There we go. So as you can see, there's nothing else in here, just an empty cardboard box all around. And there's the phone. So just place it here. I'm gonna go for this soon. Let's first see what's in here. So booklets. Yep, nothing else. No one really cares about booklets. Oh, there's this eject tool as well. Okay, drop that to the side. Then we got the case. Fairly interesting design on the casing. There we go. I'm gonna check this out soon as well. Set it up here, and then in here we got the cable, which is actually a nice cable. It's a braided one, and it's Type C to Type C, which is surprising to me actually. So really nice cable. Then we got a 30-watt power brick, again branded with the Republic of Gamers ROG logo. It's a fairly hefty brick too, and as you can see, it comes with the Type C port in here, so kind of like the new Samsung devices nowadays. And then in here, last thing we have is some okayish looking earbuds. No, they're not wireless, unfortunately. It's a little bit of a shame, especially for the price that you pay for the device. Then we got some ear tips, and I'm not entirely sure what that is actually. Oh wait, there's something on the bottom. So what is that? Is that supposed to be like a stand? Maybe it's for this? Yeah, it looks like it's for this, so you can stand it up. So you would, I assume, place it on right here. Kind of like, let's just get this trash out of here. It's not like there's anything else in the box. So let me quickly open this up. So there we go. So I assume you glue it like right over here. It has adhesive tape right here. And I believe with this the device can actually stand. It's going to be propped up so it doesn't actually like fall over. weird design, honestly, but then I guess it's better than not getting anything. I always like features, more of them, rather than getting scammed out. And this is actually a really interesting thing. So the device comes with this little plug, and it's for, well, all the accessories that you can use with it. This is like the universal port that they have, and it has this rubber seal that you can just place so you don't have a port here. And they give you 2 additional ones as, in case you lose these ones, so that's really nice actually. And as well, you get 2 of these things that you can glue to the stand itself. So let's just set it to the side and clear out area here and move the phone in front. So number one, I'm gonna check out now the case before I actually get into the phone itself. So the casing is plastic, and it's more of a bumper rather than a casing. As you can see, it does leave a lot of the phone uncovered, so you can scratch that if you have, I don't know, for instance, like dirty hands or whatever. But it has an interesting design. I would say it does fit with the design of the phone itself. This looks a little bit weird. So it looks like it kind of comes over the camera with, well, not necessarily the camera itself, but like the glass right here. It looks a little bit weird in my opinion. But apart from that, it does seem to protect the device fairly well. It does also protect the screen by just this little lips that it has. Really minimal, but still better than nothing. And I wouldn't say it's the best case though. It just seems a little bit sharp when your finger gets under here. It doesn't lay completely flush with the phone itself, so it's not the best case, honestly. I would probably rather see some silicone, some more smooshy case rather than fully plastic with these not too great edges right here. So it is, as you can see, not the best. Now let's pop it off because it's going to be annoying me in this case. And then we got the last accessory, which is the fan. It also doubles as a headphone port and a charger. So we need to take out this part right here. There we go. And from here you can simply plug this in. So extend this. As you can see, it is now extended. And you simply plug it in. Cover it and oh, there it is. Now it's spinning. Not sure, it's not really visible when it's spinning. It's just kind of solid almost, but you can feel it. So this is primarily designed to cool the phone. Let's see if I lock it. There we go, it stopped spinning, as you just seen. As you can see, it gives you additional, it looks like additional set of headphone jack and the Type-C, because you already have access to it on the side as well, both of them, which is kind of surprising considering it comes with the headphone jack here and on the phone. I would have expected them to not include the jack on the device in this case, but it's really nice. So let's pop that off. Now, apart from this cooler, the phone has a plethora of accessories that you can buy additionally. It's kind of a shame that they don't come already with a device that costs $1,300. And the accessories that do come, like this really cheap feeling casing that's more designed to look fancy rather than be actually comfortable to hold. It's kind of a shame. Although I understand some of the accessories that they're giving probably will cost quite a lot. For instance, like the additional display, where it uses the same display as the device. And just to put that in perspective, this is a 120 Hz display with a resolution of 1080p by, what is it? Let me quickly check. 1080p by 2340 pixels, and it's a AMOLED. So it's a really good display, honestly, a really nice one. And when you get this kind of like DS feeling, Nintendo DS, where you have the phone on the bottom and an additional screen that comes up, the same one as this, you have twice as much real estate. Now I assume, because the display is fairly good, this thing alone will probably cost about $200, something like that, I assume. I believe at one point probably there was a bundle. When I was looking for specs of this device and this information, I did come across it, and it included basically everything, like this display, a dock for PC use in a way. Controllers seems to be probably the best ones for this, considering this is a gaming device. I would have really liked to see them be included. And what they do is you have either something like Nintendo Switch, where you have these sliding on controllers and you can just use them normally, and you have a case for that, or you can just slide them into semi-dock to make a normal controller that you would hold, really similar to, like I say, the Nintendo Switch. But moving away from all the accessories that exist for this device that I cannot really show, let's go to the specifications of it. So it's a 6.59 inch display. Like I said, it's a Super or AMOLED with 120 Hz refresh rate and a resolution of 1080p by 2340, and that comes out to be 391 pixels per inch. So not the highest one, but then I honestly don't feel like there's a need for any more. Now also, the front of it is a Cornell Gorilla Glass 6 and the display itself is HDR10 rated, and also it has 80.3% screen to body ratio. So again, not the highest, but where I do have to say it is symmetrical when it comes to bezels on all the bottom and the top, and it does help when you're holding the phone to reject the accidental palm presses. So when you're going to be holding it, you're not going to be hitting your fingers on the display. So screen to body ratio might not be the best, but then for the purpose that this is made, I would say that's actually a good thing here. Now moving further on, it comes with an Android 9 by default, and I assume it probably has the option to be upgraded to Android 10, assuming it's already not. Let's see. No, it is already on Android 10. So the info that I have is outdated apparently. So you can see it does come with Android 10. And apart from that, it has a Snapdragon 855 Plus with have a couple options of storages and a couple options of RAM. The device that I have in front of me, if I can bring it up here, where would it be? Pack up Apple phone, there we go. So the device that I have in front of me, if it's going to be written, but it's not, it's the 512 gigabyte storage with 12 gigs of RAM. So it's not the top spec. The top would be with 1 terabyte storage. So it does come with a huge amounts of storage that you can basically choose. And you have a choice between, I believe, from 64 or something like that. Let me quickly check. And just so I don't give you, no, okay. So the lowest storage you can get, or lowest spec of this device, is 128 gig storage with 8 gigs of RAM. And then once you go a little bit higher, from 256 gig storage, every option will have 12 gigs of RAM instead of 8. And it goes from 256, then you have 512, which is the one that I have, and then, like I said, 1 terabyte. And all of those storages have UFS 3.0, so you'll be getting these super blazing fast transfer speeds, reads and writes. It's basically equivalent to like an SSD. So it's really nice that they included this. And then moving on away from the display and some specs and trying not to drop it. We have the back, so nothing really special here. As you can see, there's the dual camera setup, and let's see, the main camera is a 48 megapixel shooter, and just as every other device, it's a wide sensor. Then we have a 13 megapixel ultra wide, so the second one is, well, not the greatest, but all of this combined, you can shoot at 4K 30 frames and also 60, which did surprise me, and at 1080p you have, well, again, 30 and 60 frames obviously, but you also have a slow motion of 240 frames, and at 720 you can slow it down to 480. Now, I would have liked to see a little bit more than 480 at slow motion, so that's a little bit of a shame, but yeah, we get what you get here. And also, the cameras have a gyro electronic image stabilization, so it will basically, the cameras will move a little bit based on how your hand shakes, and just try to stabilize it by moving the camera itself. Yeah. And let's move it back. Now going back to the specs, the device has a really nice battery of 6,000 milliamps. Now, unfortunately, the charger isn't the fastest when it comes down to such a battery that you get. It's only 30 watts, which recently I came across, for instance, like Realme devices, which came with, I think it was Realme or something like that, but it was a mid-range device with a 65 watt charger, which just kind of blew me out there. So this device charger, comparing to the other one, it's kind of garbage, especially for the fact that it does have a 6,000 milliamp hour battery, so you will be charging it for a little bit longer than probably any other device. And what else is there to say? The device has its own UI, the ROG UI. Now, personally, I'm not a fan of it. It feels a little bit too gamery. I do understand that this device isn't really intended for me. Although I'm a gamer, I just don't like to ostentatiously shove it up everybody's face that, hey, look at my phone, it has LED lights everywhere, RGB and stuff. So I would prefer something more clean looking for just the purpose of this. And as you've already seen at the back, you do have this logo. It looks like by default it's turned off, yeah, but it does glow. It's, like I said, a RGB logo, and I believe if I go in here and if I can manage to quickly find it, that would be really nice. Display sounds, what would be advanced maybe? Gestures, no. Glove mode. I can't really find it. I know that there is a setting for it. It was in the previous one as well, but it's kind of I believe in like a weird place to find it. So at this moment I won't really bother finding it. I will most likely make another video about it, customizing it and stuff like that, but at this moment I can't really bother trying to find it. But yeah, going back to it, also a thing that I didn't mention was the front camera, the selfie one, and it's a 24 megapixel sensor that can shoot at 1080p 30 frames. Nothing really special here, just a typical sensor. And apart from that, you do have basically flagship specs with the Snapdragon 855 Plus, and honestly, I mean, the device works smooth. You would expect it works as you would expect it for a flagship device for $1,300. I would personally say that it is a little bit overpriced for what you get, or well, in terms of this, I would say you don't get, because for a gaming device, I would really like to see those controllers be included, and that price, the price isn't small, and I do understand you get a flagship phone, but like the casing right here, I don't need it. It's garbage. The cooling of the device, the cooler, I probably will never use it. Don't really see the purpose of this. Your hands do get some heat from the device as well. Probably this will do a better job, but then I don't, at this moment there's not very many titles, I would say, for the phones that will push the phone to such a so far that you will lose performance visibly by the phone heating up. And just the design of the phones is made so the phone dissipates the heat anyway. So this is just like an accessory just to show further, like, look at me, I'm a gamer. And apart from that, just the two accessories, you don't really get much for it. The 120 Hz display is, well, really nice add-on, but it's not worth $1,300, I would say. So if you're looking for a gaming device, or, well, let's just put it this way, a device that can game, just look for, I would say personally, any other device that is cheaper than this, that has all the same specs, for instance, like the for instance, big storage, along with the Snapdragon, the newest Snapdragon, and a decent amount of RAM. If you want to use controllers and stuff like that, you can always buy yourself an additional controller and use that. If you specifically want the ones that come provided with this, well, then you will need to shell out a little bit more money for those, just so you can have the ones that do fit with this device specifically and work. Which will increase the price of this device even further, making it one of the most expensive flagship devices out there. And I cannot justify such a price for just a normal flagship in a way. Like I said, if those accessories, at least some of them, decent ones, would be included, then sure, yeah, it's worth. But without them, this is overpriced as hell, and I don't see a reason for it. So my overview is, well, it's kind of conflicted, and this device isn't really for me, but I guess if I would have to summarize it, it's a really good device. It's a flagship device, but for the price, I wouldn't say it's worth it. Even if you get the accessories for it, then it costs even more and still isn't worth it for the price that you will need to pay over like $1,400. It's too much for just a phone that can game. But this will conclude my overview of this device. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.